Okay. Can you see this okay?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start with some recognition. And I got an email this week that Lindsay Rigney advanced to business starter on the leadership ladder, which is a really cool thing. She had a really successful month in May. I'm so confused on months right now. In May, and led our team in Success Club points, hit SC10 for the first time, became Emerald, is just doing really, really well. And so I did look at SC points for this month, and a few people have a few, but I am hoping that a lot of coaches are doing what I'm doing and trying to delay everyone to Monday for signups to take advantage of the Lift 4 launch. So I didn't necessarily want to recognize SC points tonight because I think a lot of that is intentional with several of us, but wanted to look at projected personal volume for June. And so there's some people who really that's like 400 and above PV, but everyone's PV should go up if people are planning on taking advantage of the VIP access, even if it's the base package. That will boost everyone's volume pretty significantly. So it should be a good month for everyone. So just kind of some announcements and calendar stuff. I am inviting right now mainly to 2B and Lift 4. Been talking to people and asking them that if they can hold off until Monday, like I would rather them sign up with this package to get this VIP access, and several people are doing that. I am planning to start a challenge group July 16th. And this is something that I'm going to circle back around and talk about that in a second. But just real quick, upcoming events. Summit is in 2 weeks. And you are able to tune into the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, which is what I did in 2016. And I would say that was the turning point in my business of deciding I'm in this, was just watching the opening ceremony and closing ceremony from home, like on our couch, and deciding I'm going to be there next year. Like I'm going to commit to this. It's just so motivating and encouraging and equipping. And a lot of big announcements are shared with that opening ceremony and closing ceremony for future launches, future products. So it's just really, really fun. And so what I did last year while I was at Summit was I was texting in a group text back and forth to several coaches on our team who were watching it live. And so we were having a conversation about it. So it was almost like we were able to kind of be there together. So I'll plan on doing that again this year. So I'll share with y'all once I look it up, the time for those ceremonies. It will be Thursday night and Saturday night. And you're welcome to watch live if you want to. But I'll be texting about it and screenshotting things and keeping y'all up to date on information if you're not planning on being there. And then Super Sunday is July 8th, following a few weeks after Summit. I will not be able to attend that Super Sunday because we have a base camp that weekend. But I think several coaches on our team are planning on going. And I know Melissa talked at one point about maybe having everyone out to her ranch that weekend. So I will confirm with her if that's still something she's wanting to do. And I'll make sure y'all all have that information in case you want to join her for that. But the one thing I wanted to talk about, I just watched, this is one of the things that came out of today. And I watched a video from Keisha Embry, I think is her name, a coach in Kentucky who was basically in her business was where I am right now back in November. And since then has reached 6-star diamond. And she was sharing in this video, like what happened. Cause she was at the place where I am, like lifetime star diamond, but only there because she got her husband's business there, which then fell off. And so she was really at diamond. Like that's kind of my situation. And she'd been there for a very long time. And so she's explaining in this video I just watched, she's explaining what mindset switch happened for her and how she began to really help her coaches become successful and help, you know, those 6 diamonds become diamonds in such a short amount of time. And so one of the things, I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with y'all in the future. I'm still processing it. But one of the most immediate takeaways that I got from it is that they do everything together. They don't run separate challenge groups. They don't run separate anything really. They just, like, their culture is to do it together. And she also made the point that she doesn't micromanage her coaches. So like in their challenge group that they lead together, she doesn't assign people to post every day. They don't even worry about someone posting every day. Like, it's just all very natural. It's very organic. And a lot of that is her recognizing the need for simplicity and the fact that she and a lot of her coaches, just kind of her avatar it's people who are busy. And so the idea of having to schedule content for a week, or I've got to post every Tuesday, you know, I've got to post every Wednesday, like because they're all doing it together and they're all engaged in the group and in the group at different points, like it's a very fun and interactive group, and nobody stresses about it because they're just all in there when they can be. And if someone goes on vacation, like, that person's challengers don't feel neglected because there's lots of other coaches in there and everyone's answering questions and helping each other out. And I have really, for 6 months probably, been considering and trying to figure out if I need to shift my challenge group more to being on Facebook. That was the question that I asked Robbie this morning when I met, and I said, tell me what are successful coaches doing? Are they using the app or are they using Facebook? And he said, they're using both, but for different purposes. And I think it's a lot of, actually, I think it's kind of how you use it, Jeffrey. He said that the app is for accountability. It's good for accountability. So it's good for people who can get in and just log their shakes and their workouts. But Facebook is still, and probably always will be, until or unless they start charging money for it, like, they're going to be the king of social community. And so if you're wanting to create a culture, you're wanting to cultivate and build a culture, Facebook is where it's going to happen. Like, it's just where more interaction is going to happen. And so Keisha shared that she does do it that way, but she said it is important to understand your people and understand what they want. But she used to schedule things and put things in the My Challenge Tracker app. And she said she just asked people, like, do you even like that? Do you even read it? And they were like, we don't really care about that stuff. Like, we get in and we log and we get out. And so she did away with it. And she said that took so much, like, busy work off her schedule of just saying, no, like, I'm not going to worry about using a challenge group guide. I'm not going to worry about posting in the My Challenge Tracker app. I'm going to tell everybody that the Facebook group, if they want to post a sweaty selfie, they can, but I might miss it in there. So at the end of the week, I'm going to check and see who's logged 7 workouts, who's logged 7 shakes. And I can check that in the Challenge Tracker app. But she said in her challenge group on Facebook, she goes live. Like, and she said, really, just without making assignments, without micromanaging it, people will go live. Like, usually there's a different coach that goes live every day, just naturally, very organically. And that is what people seem to engage with more and enjoy doing more, is when it's in that, I don't know if you can hear Bear, but hey, can you close the hallway door? He's not wanting to go to sleep. Anyway, so I had already decided that I wanted to make that shift myself for this Lift 4 group and run it on Facebook and plug people into the ongoing group. And I think what I'll plan on doing, I'm still playing around with the logistics of this, but I think what I'll plan on doing is having, like, my challenge tracker app will be a 2018 log group, so I'm not having to start it and stop it. It's just a 2018 group. So anybody that signs up as a challenger can get in it and can log. That's also a great place for people who maybe want to do 3-week yoga retreat and I don't have a challenge group for 3-week yoga. They can plug into that. But I will be running a Lift 4 group starting July 16th that will go 8 weeks. And basically what I'm telling them is you have commitment from me in that group for those 8 weeks. Past that 8 weeks, you can continue in the group. You can continue, encouraging one another, lifting each other up. I'll be running some other groups past that point, which you're welcome to join too, but I won't be as involved in this group past this 8-week point. And I'll encourage everyone to log in the My Challenge Tracker app, but to really see the group being on Facebook. And so my thoughts and ideas for everyone is us doing that together and not, because I'm not going to be scheduling content. I'm not going to be like putting graphics that are all matching or anything like that. It's just going to be like this big open, like everyone's in it. And someone asked Keisha the question, do different challengers get overwhelmed that there's so many people in it? And she said no, like she's never seen that, just because it seems like one big happy family and everyone gets to know each other. And she just said it's a good way to show coaches that you don't have to start your own group. You don't have to create all this content or even schedule all this content that I've already created for all these groups. We just jump in it and organically do it together. And by doing that, you don't have to worry about, is someone going to be posting in the group every day? Because it's just you let everyone post. You don't have it where only admins can post or anything like that. It's just a big group of organic community, basically. So those are my very early preliminary thoughts on something I would like to see happen. Of course, every coach can do what they want, but I think it could be a really cool thing for us to all do together and can take away some of the busy work that most of us just don't have time for as far as scheduling and, stuff like that. So, and I mean, if there's certain things that each of us as coaches are passionate about getting out there, we can post it whenever. Like it doesn't have to be scheduled in or figured out ahead of time or anything like that. It's just, if you want to post it, post. Even if another coach or two coaches have already posted that day, it doesn't matter. Like just post when you want to. So do you have any initial thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, I love that idea. That's one of the things I've been thinking about since we kind of talked on Monday, is when I'm thinking about onboarding coaches, and I've got a couple of ladies that I'm talking to and one guy, but when I'm talking with them, it just makes more sense to say, I'm going to be gone on vacation, and these, can you just manage the group for the week? I think that kind of releases us and allows us to really have a vacation when time is appropriate. But I think it also, like you said earlier in the week, I think that gives them some ownership in what we're doing and showing them that they can do this. And some of them, it becomes a natural conversation with people about, you are doing this, you are being a coach, you are posting about your recipes or you're posting about your workouts, and that's what we do as coaches. I think that it makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I like Facebook so much better, and it's been a better thing for us anyways. And the My Challenge Tracker app, it gets to be, in my opinion, too busy. So I guess a couple of questions that I would have in the Facebook posts that I've been doing, I've had a check-in post every day. And this past week, I haven't done that as much. And I honestly haven't had as much engagement because I don't feel like I've had a specific place for them to check in. However, when we check in that group, they don't, like on the My Challenge Tracker app, they're posting pictures, or they're, um, I don't, it's more like it's a more visual thing, whereas Facebook is more written, or, checking in through script, which is fine. But I like the picture element. So I was going to ask, like in my groups, what do you think about me just opening it up and saying to everybody, hey, I just want you to post whenever you've, done your workout for the day. Let me know. You don't have to wait until 9 when I post the check-in. I mean, what's your opinion on that, as far as my group, your group, how all of that would work?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just watched this video by Keisha, and so it's all fresh on my mind. And I really loved everything she said, which is interesting because it's very contrary to my nature. But just because I have a nature doesn't mean it's what we should do, or it doesn't mean it doesn't need to be tweaked. But I like what she said was the group is not really a place for sweat. Like the way her group functions is you don't see a lot of shake selfies or sweaty selfies, because she just kind of tells them like, log that in the My Challenge Tracker app, because I will see that, because I'm going to check. Because what she does at the end of every week, she does like a recognition post of like basically a leaderboard. She just shows so and so drank 7 shakes this week, or here's a list of everyone that drank 7 shakes. Here's a list of everyone that did at least 5 workouts, or for lift 4 workouts. And so she just kind of tells them like the place to log all that is in the app, and it's easy to do, and a lot of people like that because they like seeing the check marks, and it's real quick and simple. But she just says like everything else is in her group, and the more that people are going live and just sharing, like it's meal prep tips, it's here's what I had for lunch today, a lot of it's food pictures, and just things like that, or people just asking questions like, is anyone sore, like and a lot of times it is just like she says, customers can post any time of the day, so they're not waiting for a post from her to respond to. They can post whatever they want all day long. So if they wanted to post their sweaty selfies and their shake pictures, they can. It doesn't have to be assigned to a certain daily check-in. The way I'll probably do mine is I probably will not have anything scheduled, and that it makes me a little nervous, but I think it could be really cool and really a really good thing.
Mhm.
I mean, there may be some things that I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I tell this group 3 weeks in about what to expect with their Shakeology, so I may schedule that post, on a certain day or something like that. I'll probably still have a framework in my mind that I'm looking at and working from, but it'll be a lot more of going live and just communicating things that I want communicated that way. Which I've noticed Alana does this in the 2B Mindset group. She'll do a 30-minute video, but she'll create an outline of what she talked about and write it in the post, which is so helpful for anyone that can't watch the video. And I'm not saying I'm going to do 30-minute videos in our challenge group, but I understand, because sometimes I'll see videos and I'm like, I don't have time to watch that right now, but I want to know what they're saying. And so it's helpful to read, the high points,
Mm.
in the caption above it. So I would see a lot of the posts being more like that.
I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, I see that as it's, for me personally, that's naturally like what I'm doing already. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me to be a part of that is something that I would enjoy and appreciate and feel like, I mean, one of the things I loved about the Challenge Tracker app, and I feel like I have not utilized that well in the past, I don't know, 2 months, and for my group, and then for me personally in a little while. But I loved, like, I felt like I got to know people like Lauren and Haley from seeing their pictures, seeing them post, and so I think it does develop our team. And I don't know, I mean, I understand totally the idea of not having like scheduled content, because I think that does free us up. But maybe, like you've talked about a framework, maybe if, in our Zoom calls, we say, okay, this month our focus is, I don't know, praying for your husband or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we each just kind of keep that in our mind as we're doing personal development, or as
Yeah.
we're, so like we have an idea of what some content could be, but it's not like, I'm not going through my book that I did last week and writing devotionals for every day. I'm just
Right.
live, I'm reading this book right now about praying for my husband, and so here's a thought for that, or.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. Even if we like on every weekly call, we say, here's something we can focus on this next week, or, and Robbie gave the idea today. And she did say in her call, Keisha did, a lot of personal development happens together in her challenge groups, in her Facebook challenge groups. So a lot of times it just very naturally and organically can turn into a book study that a lot of people want to do. It's nothing that she requires ever, but it just turns into um, a lot of stuff that really is the vital behaviors. And I think that's one of the things I love about this is a model that I'm excited about and not fearful of bringing a brand new coach into,
Sure.
because it's easy. Like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't require a lot of busy work. I mean, most of the coaches that on our team, the people we attract, most of the time, they don't have just all day long to work this business. And so the time that they do have needs to be doing the vitals, not writing content for a challenge group. And if they're engaging it as a customer and doing these behaviors that we are wanting to see them do as a coach, like it just, like you said, it's very easy to go in and say, you're doing this. Like, why not make some money with it as well? But okay, well, that's good. That's good feedback, and we'll run with that some more and talk to everybody else about it too, especially after they watch this call. So that's good stuff. Did you listen to the National Wake Up Call for this week? Okay.
It's not up in the podcasts.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think they put it up anymore since I think you have to go to the TVB Coach 411 page and just view the video, which is not as convenient and takes up data if you're not like connected to Wi-Fi. But I just always try to listen to it when I'm home.
yeah.
But yeah, it was really good and has really done a work on me this week. This is a topic that I've always been a little like, I don't know what to do with this, and I don't know, but I feel like she made it, she gave some practical tips in this for confidence, self-love, all of that. And Jeff made the point just starting out at the beginning of the call, you can be successful in this business if other people don't believe in you, but you cannot be successful if you do not believe in you. And so before she jumped into her tips, she kind of prefaced it by saying, when I talk about self-love, I want you to understand that it's not something that enables me to stay the same, to skip my workout, to eat all the cookies, or to forget about my health. Because a lot of times that it can come across that way. Well, I love myself, so I'm not going to take care of myself. Like some people kind of give that persona. But she said, because I love myself, I am empowered, not enabled, which is key to remember. She said, it's not about loving yourself and allowing yourself excuses. It's about empowering yourself to do more, to be more, and to influence others more. And she kind of I'll get into that in a second. But the second point she made was, she said, what I'm about to share with you, like, it's nothing new. You've heard it before. But if you're not seeing the results that you want, and the confidence that you want, then you're not applying these truths yet. So find something from this call that you're going to apply today. And that really hit me hard, because I thought that's kind of where I am. Like, I'm not seeing the results I'm wanting. So there has to be some self-limiting belief in my mind that I haven't dealt with yet that I need to address. And so then she goes into these tips and practices. And she talks about 3 different things. And you could tell she worded it in a way to really like grab your attention to help you remember it. But the first one was to throat punch your inner demons. And so she tells this story about how she had lost 50 pounds, had this tremendous success story, and looking in the mirror and said, "I'm fat." And like, her verbally saying it out loud helped her realize that she had become someone that she did not ever want to be. And that she knew, as long as she thought that, like, she could not help others. Like, it was, she, even though she lost all this weight, like, she had not changed mentally at all. And so she kind of identified that by verbalizing it. She identified that as an inner demon. And she said, so first of all, we have to identify whatever our inner demons are, and we have to fight back. And so she even talked about like naming your demon, whatever it is. And she named hers Regina, I think. So she would just tell Regina to like shut up and sit down. Like, she said it makes it more fun to fight when it has a name. But she, you know, made the point, like, tell yourself reasons why you're capable. And she said she would identify things about her body that she loved and why she loved them. So she would put sticky notes all over her mirror and say, like, I love my legs because they are strong. Like, I love my arms because they can help me do different things. Like, they have strength in them, you know, different things like that. And then just like, do not allow yourself to engage in negative self-talk. So that one was more just kind of like a personal, like, image focus. But then she got into number 2, which was, she titled it, Screw It to Making My Bed. And she said, I'm just going to be real honest. Like, I'm not a morning person. I hate mornings. And, you know, this is one of those practices that everybody says, like, you need to make your bed every morning. She was like, and I would never make my bed. And then I felt bad and felt like my whole day was not productive and just felt all this guilt. And she was like, I hate mornings and I hate making my bed. And so kind of her point with this was, just get a personal development process in place. Even if it's not first thing in the morning, like, just make it happen every day, and make it happen in a way that fits you. Don't feel like you have to fit someone else's schedule. She said, I am a believer that the earlier in the day, if you can get it done in the morning, great, but don't allow, like, if you can't get it done in the morning, don't allow it to mess up your whole day. Just get it done during your lunch or whenever, you know, you need to. But she said, and this is kind of where I want to spend the most of our time, she shared like what her personal development looks like. And she said, it's prayer, it's devotional. I write things that I'm grateful for in all areas of my life. So personal life, like family. And then I write something I'm grateful for in my challenge group and something I'm grateful for with my coaches on my team. And then she said, I write my affirmations, and then listen to personal development, set her intention for the day on how she will apply that personal development that day. So she doesn't just listen to personal development. She determines before she moves on, what in that am I going to apply today? And so the thing that really stood out with me from the whole call was how she does her affirmations. And she said, you have to start by writing out a limiting belief that you have, and then rewrite it into a positive affirmation. And so the statements, the positive affirmations, have 2 parts, a daily action and the outcome of that action. So the example she gave was, my limiting belief was, if I earned income, people would think I was greedy and selfish and bad. She said, my affirmation that I wrote out in response to that is, by sharing the story of my ever-growing success and income, which is her daily action, then the outcome of that action is, I'm inspiring other men and women to take control of their lives and grow successful businesses with me. And I liked how she broke that affirmation down, because I've heard write affirmations and, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know, like, how to do that. That's not like, I'm a great coach. And, but this was very like practical and doable for me. Like, okay, I need to write down a daily action and then the results, the product of that daily action. So I wanted to share with y'all the 5 limiting beliefs that I identified. This was real fun. Not. And the affirmations that I now have started writing every single morning as part of my personal development. And really, I look at the 5 of them and I kind of identify which 2 or 3 do I need to write today. I don't necessarily need to write all of them every day. But this first one, I'm not good at recruiting business builders. The affirmation that I responded to that by was, by genuinely and diligently sharing my story and journey and how this business is a ministry, I'm finding my tribe of people who are like-minded. And then here's my next one. I'm not a good enough leader and cannot attract or equip a team of successful coaches. And then my affirmation, by continuing to learn and grow and by refusing to stay in a comfort zone, I am leading a team well because I have all the tools I need to equip others. Number 3, I don't know that I can continue and keep it up forever. My affirmation, by remembering why I am in this business and how it cultivates others to live God-honoring, disciplined lives, I am fueled and motivated to continue on in each vital behavior, day after day, moment after moment, because it is worth it. Number 4, I'm not creative enough to lead great challenge groups and don't have what it takes to really help others get results. My determination and grit and fierce loyalty enable me to continue growing beyond stagnation and are what makes my group successful. My challengers do see results, and by remembering the lives changed, and I write names in each time I write this, I am encouraged to continue helping others get results while remembering that it does not fully rely on me. All I can do is coach, which is my job and my calling. And then the last one, and this was one I identified today while meeting with Robbie. I don't know how to help my coaches reach success quicker than what I have. And my affirmation is, by pushing myself out of my comfort zone and refusing to limit myself and my team based on the past, our team will continue to see solid success, and I will grow in my leadership skills to better help new coaches reach diamond quicker and steadier than I was able to do. So those really have been key for me this week, and it's really what I would encourage everyone to do very soon, is to write out limiting beliefs you have and to follow that step, that 2-step affirmation process of a daily action and the results of that action. And then her third point was to imagine my idols ugly. So she just said, when I get to looking around at other coaches and people that I see are successful and that I put up on these pedestals, like I tend to only see their highlight reel. I tend to only see them at their best, which is not real. And when we really think about it, we know there's a lot more to everybody than that. And whether we want it or not, people look at us that way. Like, people will look at us and think, well, they have it all together. And we know that we're a hot mess half the time, And so she said, if I'll just stop for a minute and imagine these people when they're ugly, like I'll imagine them being a hot mess, which is not like, she said, I don't do it to put others down. I do it to realize, like, they have ugly moments. They have moments just like I do. And just because I'm not seeing it doesn't mean that they don't have it. She said, and the goal of that is just to help her realize that we are all the same. Like, if we get to comparing too much and building people up and thinking they're at some level we can't ever become or attain, then we're believing the fallacy that we aren't all the same and that we don't all struggle. And so she said, by just imagining them, she takes her ugliest moment and imagines them in that ugliest moment. It helps her put things into perspective and makes it more achievable that whatever it is they're doing, she can do it too. So that's really the gist of her call. Like I said, my biggest takeaway was the affirmations, and great exercise. It took me 2 days probably to get 4 of those. And then, like I said, the 5th one came to me today when I was meeting with Robbie. And I didn't write the affirmation for it until tonight. But I think it's worth, just adding to quiet time, personal development time, just kind of identifying one limiting belief at a time and writing that affirmation for it, until you feel like you've covered all of your self-limiting beliefs. It was a very helpful exercise for me, for sure. But any thoughts, questions, comments about any of that?